Well, guys, I'm back one more time, but something a little different for the audience. Because every now and then, I think that you need to be educated. And we have some educators in the building. Do anybody remember me promoting this book some time ago? Well, we have the authors and the editors of this book here, Mr. Marlo Walton and Mr. Chester Stewart, guys. And guys, don't worry about it, because I have smoked them over and checked them out. And he checked out just fine. And guys, and let me tell you this one more thing. We can produce quality work, a quality product. And this book is the quintessential example of that. Audience, this is Mr. Marlo Walton and Mr. Chester Stewart. Mr. Chester Stewart and Mr. Marlo Walton. The audience, give them a hand clap, guys. I have a question for you, Mr. Marlo Walton. The first question that people want to know that have read this book is about the prophecy, about the Black Messiah. Is that a legitimate prophecy?
First of all, let me thank you for having us on, man. I really appreciate you for inviting us to the broadcast, man. We down here in Jackson, Mississippi, and you in Columbia, South Carolina, and you looking out. So I really appreciate that. But to answer your question, well, the FBI definitely thought so. J. Edgar Hoover spent his life trying to prevent the rise of a Black Messiah. And one of his quotes is, he wanted to prevent a Black Messiah who can unify and electrify the Black movement. He thought Malcolm X was the one, but he also saw the threat in Martin Luther King, in those of the Nation of Islam as well, and Stokely Carmichael. So it's legit. Whether we believe it or not, our government has put resources into studying here and abroad Black men, as well as seem to have put things into play to help prevent Black children from being born. So you got Margaret Sanger, who came like she was a friend or an ally, but her whole goal was to get rid of Black babies. So she used preachers to do that. And you see now they still use preachers to set our confusion as well, or to help us with our downfall as well.
That's right. And by the way, guys, Hillary Clinton, that is her hero, by the way. Quote Hillary Clinton, that Margaret Sanger was her hero. If you don't believe it, go look it up.
Oh, yeah. She's an honorary Klans member as well. She was a hero to Hitler, too.
See? Tis, tis, tis. What a tangle where we weave when we try to deceive. Boy, gee, these people are all over the place, man. Crooks, devils, and robbers, and thieves. But moving on, the Saint said something that was very powerful in the book. He said that our communities are looked at as mass production systems that is designed to destroy itself. And when it's no longer doing that, they look at it as the system has malfunctioned. Can you explain exactly what that meant?
Yeah, well, we've been programmed to dislike each other for hundreds of years. We talk about the Willie Lynch letter, and whether Willie Lynch was a real person or not, that strategy was real, to turn the old against the young against the old, the dark against the light against the dark, and the man against the woman. So that strategy was set into play hundreds of years ago. And is pretty much, we've been programmed to, even like us as Black men, like this right here, us being together, this is dangerous in the eyes of some people. We when we usually see each other, we usually size each other up. Yeah, and so when we not doing that, we breaking the program. Like even father and sons, man, it shows you how beautiful that we really are, because we supposed to hate each other. You ever see a father or son playing with a kid? He's supposed to have that programming to dislike his own child. But yet, we fight it and we go along. We even give each other the head nod sometimes to let each other know, now it's all good. It's all good. That's us fighting program. Anytime we do that. So, but yeah, we've been programmed. He hit on something Saint said, a mouthful, so to speak. And anytime we not doing that, it becomes a problem.
Good answer. Good answer. Moving right along. Whenever that I was looking at the book, there was a section in there talking about the secret societies, where there is a conglomerate of wealthy individuals that's making decisions in the United States and outside of the United States. My question is, could some of those conspiracy theories indeed be some conspiracy facts?
Yeah, indeed. A secret society having meetings in the forest and having rituals in the forest about what goes on in the United States, would you consider that a secret society?
Yes, absolutely.
I know I pretty much answered it in there, but I do have this one. I will have to show you. I want to show you a few pictures of this one. It is some of your politicians, some of your actors, and it goes deeper than that. You have some of your scientists, CEOs. Just looking at, you got Walter Cronkite, David Packard. You got people like Clint Eastwood, Herbert Hoover, and David Packard was he was on a different level. He was the one that was providing HP to apartheid South Africa. And this man, and I'm going to give you a quote from him. David Packard said, and I quote, "I'd rather lose business in Nebraska than with South Africa." Nebraska had pulled apart from South Africa. They had separated. So much for America first.
Mr. Chester.
Yes, sir.
I have a for you, Mr. Chester. In the book, Saint takes a jab at religion, but he still put his bias to the side for the betterment of the group. What does the quote, "How do our faith make us weaker men," means to you?
In my thoughts, faith is not designed to make us weaker. Okay. Faith in itself should make us stronger. But when faith is distorted, or let's say religion is distorted, it tends to teach something that wasn't meant to be taught. And that is just as Marlo alluded to about the preachers being used to teach people or to coerce people to do what they want to do in this system. I was thinking about what he said about Miss Margaret Sanger. We should hire 3 or 4 colored ministers, preferably with social service backgrounds and with engaging personalities. He said the most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. She said, we don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. So when a lot of times today we see these ministers and we see that they are encouraging people, but they're supposed to be encouraging them to be strong. They're supposed to be encouraging them to be in relationship with the Lord, in relationship with God. And those things are all positive and strong. But yet and still, we see in the world today that people are weak. We see today that there are things that are coming upon today, and instead of standing, instead of professing and fighting against, we're cowering away from these things and saying, well, it'll work out, or God will work it out. There are different things as far as when they're in these positions and they have these platforms, as preachers tend to do, you're not supposed to question them on those things. You're not supposed to, and the thing about it is, if it's wrong, why are you not supposed to question them on it? And I've had an experience myself, and I questioned it. And I had, instead of that person, that preacher telling me, one of his followers, and said that, well, if he's wrong, then let God deal with that.
Wow.
So those type of things, to me, I see and I've experienced, and it's making man weaker instead of making them strong.
Phenomenal answer. Phenomenal answer. And Chester, while you were editing this book, at what point did you know there was something special about this book?
Well, actually, I knew it before I began editing. Yes, sir. Marlo and I have been together for many years working on different projects and different things. And when he first began the book, I guess after he began writing it, he asked me to take a look at something for me and tell him what I thought. So he allowed me to get a reading. I don't know if that was I was one of the first to read it, but pretty much about at least a chapter of it. And from the beginning, I knew that it was something. From the beginning, I was drawn by one of the main characters, which was Saint. And there were different things that he said and that were expressed, showing the character of person that he was. And these are things that, as a Black man, a lot of times we've had those thoughts, or we had those images of someone standing on what's right and saying things that you would want your children, everyone, to be able to look up to and admire. But a lot of times those things are not said today. But I was drawn in from there. So I told him, I said, you're onto something because it's awesome. And when I was drawn in from it, I kept waiting to see what else he had. Continue, so yeah, just from the beginning, from the very beginning, the book draws you in.
Guys, it's 163 pages, and I read every last page of it. Every last page. And it is a good read, if I say so myself. Now, I have a question for both of y'all guys. The book touched on programming, language, such as we are our own worst enemy. It sounds like Sambo's, don't it? Black on crime. And pull yourself up by your bootstraps. We did not invent none of those terms or none of those phrases, but yet we use them. Can you guys speak about programming?
First of all, as growing up, there were a lot of things that I wasn't aware of. There was a lot of things that weren't said, let's say this. And I would say even from my parents, because it wasn't until later in life, and when I'm saying later, I'm talking about maybe about 30 or so, that I started seeing and experiencing things that I didn't realize. And I never thought it was, we was taught this and that in school, and we thought we were beyond these things. But when I started experiencing prejudice, when I started experiencing mistreatment, I was wondering like, wow, and then later on, and I'm saying later, maybe even in my 40s, and I'm in Mississippi, and my mom, she grew up here, although they don't live here anymore, but I never got a statement from her, but she said one time, well, you be careful going home because there's some prejudiced white folks down there, But I never got that growing up. I never got that knowledge, So it's different things. It's not always what's said, but it's what's not said. And those different things. So programming, a lot of times, this system, as it was referred to in the other question, the system that's been implemented to conform us or to keep us in a certain way, that system is prevalent today and it's steadily going on. And a lot of times people don't realize that. Now, Marlo has enlightened me on a lot. You see that he has a lot of knowledge. Okay. And in that process, I've got a lot from him. I've gained a lot from the experience in the world. I've gained a lot even from church, whereas I realized that is that we have to know for ourselves. We have to learn, don't close your eyes to things that are going on. Don't close your ears. We need to seek that enlightenment because this system and the things that are going on today is no different from the things that went on in the 60s, in the 40s, or in the 50s, 30s, on back. The bottom line is that we have to realize that we have to become more aware, more knowledgeable, and we have to be willing to change things.
Wow. Marlo?
Well, I would say, how do you convince a beautiful woman to get beauty products? You convince her that she's ugly. And so it's the same thing with us. It's different types of programming. It's hard to just pinpoint one. But yes. Even from when we're young, I'm sure y'all probably heard it. If not from your grandparents or parents, things like that, you go in the store, they'll tell you, don't embarrass me in front of these white folks. They didn't say, don't come in here and embarrass me in front of these black folks. Don't come in here and embarrass me in front of these folks. They say, don't come in here and embarrass me in front of these white folks. So right off top, it registers as you beneath other people. And they did, and I was telling Mr. Chester about it because it was a real life thing about it. A guy and his son, and his son had long hair, and his father was chastising him for the long hair. And the son said he lost respect for his father when his father was chastising him, and he watched him go to church and praise, like get down on his knees and cry before a white picture of a white Jesus with hair going past his neck. So he was saying he accepted the white man with the long hair, but he didn't accept him. So you have different things of programming. Even when you talk about, we say black on black crime, they'll try to convince you that they'll tell you, well, it's 2024. It's not about race anymore. But if it's not about race, then why is it a such thing as black on black crime? How come it's just not crime?
That's right.
See, they'll tell on themselves while they talking to you. All you gotta do is push them enough. Well, y'all kill each other, but they don't tell you the things behind it. I got a bunch of facts over here, but 53% of wrongful convictions that's black. Even murders, 80% of black people are more likely not to even commit them. But once you in that system, they don't make up for the numbers that they take off. They don't make up for, if you got proven innocent, you still in the system was guilty. So we don't change that percentage. And when people talk about fatherless homes, we've been through hundreds of years of going through slavery. We've been through Jim Crow, redlining, and all this, and our numbers as far as crime, like hurting each other, we talking about that. Our numbers match up almost evenly with others. Now, and you saying that we don't have fathers in the home, we went through all this, where you have fathers in your home and you didn't go through all this. So is that saying that you were naturally evil? If you saying what we doing is evil and we had a lack of, or you saying that you are naturally? Well, white ice is colder. We dealt with that. And anytime you hear a Negro saying black on black crime, you can't deal with them.
Oh, man, there was a phenomenal answer. I have one more question for y'all guys. The book starts off reading like a normal book, but then it turns into a movie. How does that make you feel to hear that? And was that your intention?
It was intentional, but it was good. It was good to hear, because you never really think of a book being like a movie. So when I hear somebody saying, they said when I first started reading, it was a book. So when I got past those first humps, he like, man, then he like, it was action. I was like, action? I'm not used to hearing action with books, but more people be, or entertained by something that'll keep them going. So we wanted it to be something different. I didn't want to do a book in a traditional way where it's just like you describing everything and it just prolong. I wanted to be action to get your mind going.
Tell them where they can go get the book at, and how can they get in contact with you all?
You can get the book at Amazon. We got on Amazon. It's called When They Left. I would like to say something else too, John, because I wanted to give credit. I'd like to thank you for having us on, but I want to give credit to the others that help assist with it. The photographer. It was all black thing.
Okay.
Okay, it's onebblackelite@gmail.com. The photographer for was a brother named Trevor, so he took the pictures of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see. Also, the hairstyle of it was done by a beautiful sister named Constance, but she also goes by Slim Walk. She did my hair for this interview as well. And you can't see it on here, but the lineup was from a brother named Byron. He did this, and this is from a sister named Shayna. They did a cut from it. This is the amazing work, and she can do just about anything you want, man, in good pricing.
Okay.
So, and also Mr. Chester is one of the editors,
And the book is on Kindle.
Okay, and the book is on Kindle as well.
Okay.
And we can't forget to thank Grandma as well.
I do implore all of y'all to go get this book. As you can see the screen, it's on the screen. You can get it at Kindle and get it on Amazon. Okay, guys? So just do me a favor by helping out the good brothers here. Is there anything else that y'all guys have to say?
A little bit more about it is pretty much, you know, when the other people can't be on your coattail anymore. It shows you what everybody would do if we wasn't around, and it's all in chaos without us. You got other groups that undermine you. When you move to the side, they destroy each other, because nobody wants to be on the bottom, but everybody want to put us on the bottom. So it's a pyramid system. So the ones on the bottom hold up those ones at the top. But when we refuse to be on the bottom, then the whole system crashes.
That's right.
So yeah, you think they hate you, but they really need you.
That's right. They do. I couldn't say it better myself, guys. Is there anything else, Mr. Chester?
Yes, sir. Also, I would love to hear what people think of the book. Not just to read, not just to buy it, but let us know what you think, what you get from it, because there's a lot in it. There's a lot that you can take away from it. It's a lot that we're not necessarily going to tell, but we want to know what you get from it. You talk about it or tell us. Just as you said, one elite, one black elite, gmail.com. However you may want to respond, but just let us know what you think and what you get from it.
Okay. Well, guys, you heard it from the editor and the author. Both of them have collabed together to bring you a phenomenal piece of work, a quality piece of work, may I add. Just do us a favor. Do me a favor. If you support me, just support these brothers. Do me that solid. And guys, I'm signing off. And until next time, peace. And remember, there is more.